All right, Senor Ortiz, we are
Hey,
live. Are you ready to do this thing, brother?
let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey, hey, what it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Administrators Podcast. I'm one half of the podcast duo, KT, and this is
Joe, baby. How's everybody
hey,
tonight?
look, hey, in the game, man. Big shout out to Ortiz, man. Look. Woo! Look, y'all, we are glad to be here. So much information this evening, so much to talk about that happened in the markets today. I think it's been about 2 weeks since y'all last seen us, so we ain't gonna catch y'all up. Y'all had to be kind of looking at that, but we will keep the information going tonight. So make sure y'all get locked in. We'll go through our platform probe and go through our stock spotlights. I got some bangers for y'all for this week. Now, this is gonna be the first time I'm just really giving out some plays, but we're gonna talk about a few of those plays as we get ready because the teaching has been happening. So now it's time for y'all to go look, and we're just gonna give a little fish out there. So y'all make sure y'all stay locked in. Ortiz, man, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. You know that end of the year stuff at work, trying to get stuff done,
Ooh.
man. Trying to,
Hey,
get a little harder, having that free time recently, to get some stuff in there. But I still managed to watch some watch lists, create some watch lists, and see what's going on out there in the market world.
yeah, yeah.
That's what we
Hey,
do.
man, it ain't nothing like working and getting that notification that your stop loss just been hit. You just come on, people. Wait a minute, what my trombone? How's that feel, man, when you're losing that bag, man? Oh my God, man. For me, man, pretty much the same thing. End of the year, students are still moving in and out for me. So hey, every day is a new challenge, brother. It never gets the same. But I'll tell you one thing, man, we got a vape epidemic, man. Golly, man, these kids. So other than that, man, we're just keeping the thing rolling, trying to get the school year finished. I hope everybody out there is doing well. I guess today was very crazy. GameStop, AMC, all of this went crazy today. So let's talk about a little bit of what happened with that in the news. Screen, right? So if you remember going back to 2021, maybe January, beginning of the year, around that time, GameStop, AMC, all of these stocks went through the roof, right? And so one part of that was from Reddit. And they had this thing called Roaring Kitty. I think that's the name of it, right? And so since then, so many people's lives have changed. They made a movie about it on Netflix called Dumb Money. So if you've ever seen that, that's what this is about. It's about that whole Netflix era where they really said, how can retail traders, us, the common people, stick it to the big hedge funds who are trying to short these stocks that we all know and love for years, like AMC or GameStop. They want them to go down. He said, what if we all get together and buy at the same time and we can push them up? Well, whatever happened, it worked. And so now, fast forward, that craze went away. Today, after 3 years, this dude made a post. And since that post, hold on, let's look at it a little bit here, man. Let's talk about it. So GameStop AMC, according to CNN.com, GameStop AMC shares skyrocket after the trader post for the first time in 3 years. If you looked at GameStop today, it went up by $12.99, which is 74% just today. The shares skyrocketed by more than 110% earlier, but they were halted for volatility several times during the day. And so that's when things started going so crazy in the stock market that they just stopped all the trading because it's just too many people. And so this happened a lot of times with this stock and with AMC stock. So Short sellers have seen 1 billion in market to market losses betting against GameStop. Remember what I said? They want to, the short sellers saying we want it to go down. We're going to keep making money by going down. All the squeezers are saying, no, we want to make sure that you lose money. So we're going to push it up. And once they did that, that's how they begin to lose 1 billion so far. Shares of AMC popped 78%. Reddit shares, remember I told you that's where it kind of started from. They climbed up roughly 9% today. And so if you remember this, suspended purchases of GameStop AMC during the frenzy in 2021. I remember what I said, that's when it all first jumped off. So this is what happened. The Roaring Kitty popped out on the Twitter, right? They're using the social media to promote. I think GameStop posted some kind of meme of a guy leaning over playing a video game back in February. So the Roaring Kitty popped out with the social media, and then they reposted this today, putting different colors on it, but it said when things get serious. And ever since then, my God, man, it's been going down in this thing, man. Golly, man, a lot of big money been made today. I think Jose, I seen a dude actually pull, I think 14K. If you look at Galaxy inside of the matter of fact, let's not talk about it, man. Let's not talk about it. This dude did off of GameStop today, y'all. I'm about to show y'all. This is how we live inside this thing, man, where it just be crazy. Okay, hold up, Jose. I'm about to switch. Gosh, I should have shared that tab. All right, share. Bro, do you see that, man? So this happened today inside of one of the discords that we in. Plus 20K here, plus 12,000 here, plus 7,900 here. My God.
Wow.
676% up. So that's what this craze has been doing since people have been out. Yeah, so man, Jose, what you think about that, man?
Dude, if you catch it, yeah, you are one bad man. You know, so kudos to these guys. Unfortunately, with our work schedule, it's very complicated to do. You know, we have to create. We usually create our own entry and exits for whatever we have on our watch list. So to understand and to know what the masses are moving, it's kind of, don't get me wrong. If we had an opportunity, you just got to stay ready to be ready.
Man.
But man, I tell you what, man, that's man, being one of them.
Ooh.
Back to work tomorrow.
That's why I say this summer, it's gonna get real. That's pretty much it, man. It got to get real, man. Okay, yeah, man. Can you think of this summer inside the Discord, like versus last summer? I think it's gonna be different, man. I think we'll be done in an hour. All right, man. So, hey, look, y'all. A lot of money being made off these meme stocks. I will tell you though, it's a big risk. That's all I will say. It's a big risk. A lot of people lost a lot of money just trying to jump in because the stocks have already gone up considerably high, right? And so now, if you try to jump in and it's already went last week, it was $9. Today is like 30 something. So don't be the guy who buys at 33 and then all of a sudden we drop back down and you left holding the bag, right? So if you see it doing a pullback and it's coming back down, watch it to see if it's going to recover or if it won't recover. If it does recover, go get you some, right? Because that means some people quit because there's going to be a lot of selling, buying, selling. So you got to get in and get out. Don't overstay your welcome. Just get in and get out, man. Anything before we wrap this up, Jose?
No, just keep in mind what KT said too is that, anytime you imagine you have someone who is up $20,000 in an account, imagine the amount of shares or options that had to move to make that money. As you, what he said, what I saw there was 15 calls that looked like 10 and 5 of each. But imagine someone who has the volume of shares. Now I'm looking at GameStop right now, and we had 187,241. I'm sorry, 187 million shares were traded today. That's what the volume was. 187 million. It moved $13 today. In fact, right now overnight, it's still moving $7. So just remember the advice KT just said. If you plan to get in, just remember all those people who made money today, or you don't know if they made money today because you don't know if they sold it or not. If you are up in your account 10, 15,000, I promise you they're gonna take profits. So just remember that if you're trying to get in on any stock that has skyrocketed, especially these meme craze stocks that are out there because of the masses and the people, you have to understand what's a real mover versus a mover that's being generated by the masses, because I'm not sure a lot of people will try to get in when the stock is already up this much, and then you're going to get caught chasing, and then you're stuck when everybody dumps. And then just as fast as it goes up, it can come back down. So who's to say if it don't drop $20 tomorrow to go back to the original entry that they had, because that would be a lot of selling, but it would make a lot of people money. So just remember that as you think about what you want to get into.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I'm about to buy puts right now. Yeah, I'm going to ride them out. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Because what goes up must come. Now, it may take a while. I'm going to play both, but I'm going to get these puts while we way up here and see what happens. Well, that thing might get up to $200-$300 put shot. All right. Look, y'all, that is it for the news. If you want to know more about that, head over to CNN.com. That's where we got the information from to talk about these stocks. Remember what we said. Don't play inside of them, people. Get in, get out, but you got if you don't know about this, don't do it. Don't do it because it could be rough. Hey, so
if you don't have time,
hey,
I was inside, real quick, like KT was saying about these different Discord groups, valuable information that had nothing to do with charts or volume or price action. Saw someone in the Discord say, never leave an option unattended. So I know that we preach short-term, long-term, leaps, day trading, swing trading. If you are not swing trading or leap trading options, if you're trying to do it between today and tomorrow to make money, to get in and get out, never leave an option unattended. If you can't watch that option, do not get into it if you plan on day trading it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's over. That's pretty much how your money sound when it leaves. All right, man. That'll do it for that news segment. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, let's jump into this heat check. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Administrators Podcast. Just wrapping up the news segment. Talked a little bit about what happened in the market today. Meme stocks, AMC, GameStop took off. What happened was one of the traders that came out, I can't remember his name, Cargill or something like that. But he posted for the first time today in 3 years, 74% for GameStop, 78% for AMC, through the roof, to the moon. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. Now, what we're going to do is we can't get tied up in that because money can be easily made or lost in that. But we're going to stick to the fundamentals and what we do each week around here. And that is taking a look at our heat check. All right, y'all. This is The S&P 500 heat map. This kind of tells us what's going on with stocks. What did they do for the day? And if we look on the heat map, I'm trying to look for some of our hottest sectors today. It was rough out here, man. When you think about the Mag 7, so Microsoft was rough, Meta was rough, Google was rough, Nvidia was rough, Amazon was rough. Yeah, it was rough today overall, people. But who was holding? Biotech, medicals, drug manufacturers. Um, Man, that was pretty much it. It was rough today. Tesla's where she got. Oh my. Oh, that girl still finds a way to make a way out of nowhere. God bless her, man. Yeah, but other than that, the biggest thing is we have PPI coming out tomorrow, and we got another big man. I can't remember what happens Thursday, but something comes out Thursday too. The inflation data itself, the inflation number itself, right?
GDP.
Yeah, oh, no, yeah. So the inflation rate.
That's May 30th. So
okay.
CPI.
Okay.
CPI is tomorrow.
Yeah. And so, well, I think tomorrow the PPI, but then we get the inflation percentage itself. So Thursday we'll see if it went down or up. They thinking it'll be more of 3%, 3.5, 3.7, somewhere in there. So if we get anything better than that, man, we're going to the moon, y'all. All right, Jose, what are you seeing up in this heat chart, man?
I'm seeing exactly what you just said. Remember when we talked about market manipulation? Remember we talked about, buyers and sellers? Apple has been so beat up today. Green, $3 to $4 gain on the day for Apple. I made some money on some calls today for Apple that expired, in a week. Got rid of them, but yeah, that's right. I paid $60 for them. Sold them at $3.50 each. Had 4.
Got them.
So just remember what Apple was so beat up that regardless of what happens coming out with any type of news or whatever, it's trying to make its way back up because it's still a good stock. So looking at this heat map today on a Monday tells me that we're still looking at a neutral market. We were so greedy for so long, and KT will touch on that in a minute, but then we worked our way down to fear. So we're neutral because I think what's going to happen is people know something on the inside about this number that's going to come out. And I think we were in a little bit of a tailwind today or a headwind with trying to move the market up because they know perhaps that a good number is going to come out and that the market will rally for that for the rest of the week, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Sure.
Time before, but we've also been right before. So I believe that days like today, especially when you have something like that on the horizon, I do believe somebody somewhere knew something, and so manipulation, guys. I mean, no matter how you want to say it, the market is manipulated, and we got to find a way to be part of that manipulation.
Yeah, not the bad part though, the good part.
Yeah,
just to clarify that, just wanted to clarify that piece right there. Just hey, Paul, look, did you see what just happened, bro? Did you see how I changed the screen without coming out and coming back in, man?
That was nice.
Thank y'all. I'll be here all week changing screens. All right, fear and greed index. Remember, if y'all can look, 1 week ago, people were scared out here in these streets. But now we at neutral. Remember what I told you? You better buy something, like buy. Get it. Just buy. Watch it kind of start this over here. You start putting in you some positions because it is terrible over here. This is where everybody's scared. They done sold it all. Now they just waiting on one person with the big money to come buy it back. Then they'll come back in. But you start going because you know eventually that person with the big money is going to come back. So you're going to be already be ready. Over here, you kind of just watching it a little bit. It's been picked up. You'd have made some money off of here, but you want to still keep adding to your position. Right here, hold. This is what we do. We hold right here. So If you already got positions, kind of just watch what's going on. Look at how we use this according to our heat map, right? Our heat map just showed us a lot didn't move today. Because remember, those greens mean it went further in 1%, 3%. Today, you're seeing a lot of things either point zero something or they just didn't move at all. That's why we are neutral. That means we are in a holding pattern, people, and we are waiting on what's coming next. Now, the question is, what will it be? So if you look at 1 year ago, we were here. If you look at 1 week ago, we were here. 1 month ago, we were right here. So let's see what's going to happen over these next few days, man. Jose, you got anything to add to that?
Nah, just keep watching the markets, y'all. Because if
Yeah,
you paid attention and took out some June calls, we're getting close to that time to sell them. So I know
yeah,
June's around the corner. If we had some June, July calls, I think that you're looking pretty good.
yeah,
Just make sure that you know what it is that you're looking at when you look at it.
yeah, most definitely. Next one we have is the volatility index, which is your VIX. Man, you know what I thought about? Taking long dated leaps on the VIX calls. What you
You
think, man?
know, I because there's a I think there's two of them, VIXY UVXY, and then
Yeah.
I want to say VIXY. One of them. There's two ETFs that move with. So something that I thought about KT today was either buying some, short of the S&P. Um,
Yeah.
Instead of buying SPY, I think it's called SPDR, or it's the short one where you wanted the market to go down. Because I think
Mm-hmm.
or I was going to buy some puts on SPY, but I think that might be something that we look at this week.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just thinking because I think we might go back to the greed part here this week, and so I'm thinking maybe by the end of the week, we start getting into some puts um, to see what happens. For because if you have both, then you can hedge your account,
Yeah.
and you can make money. And if it's the days that it goes down, as long as you're not too short on your expiration dates,
Yeah.
the price movement will get there eventually. So yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
idea.
That's what I do, man. That's how I hedge my account. All right, y'all. So the VIX is 13. Remember what I said? As long as the VIX is down here, um, if the market starts moving, but the VIX stays down, we could be in a good position. Um, but if this starts to rise up 15, 18, especially anything over 19, it is over, y'all. Like market crash is like death. It's like right there the next day. So just making sure that we look at this $12. Just making sure that we are paying attention to all of those pieces, the heat map, the VIX, and also the fear and greed. Remember what I said? Those are not the only things that we use, but look at the picture that it is painting because we see here volatility is low. It's only 13. If we go back over 1 year here, so the volatility was 1282, right? If we go back here, 1254. So if we seeing this, we know that volatility is not high. So that means the market is just not rough. But once again, what did our heat map tell us? What did our fear and greed tell us? Right now it's neutral, just a holding pattern, waiting to see what is about to happen. So this kind of will give you a picture. So let's say, for instance, if you're doing some long options, maybe now you start looking at what's going on, what you can get into, what would you feel comfortable, buy, set your stop loss, and then we'll see what happens with the data. Or you can wait until after the data because I guarantee you this will look totally different after that,
Mhm.
one way or the other, and then you can react. Either way, we'll be fine. But if you go pre-head and go ahead and set up your plays. Make sure that you keep that stop loss intact because risk management is just as important as buying the stock. Hey, all right, man. Anything before we close this segment out?
All about the psychology of the trading.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So keep that in
Yes,
mind, y'all.
sir. All right. So what we'll do then, let's take a quick break. And after that, we've been through the candlestick patterns. We talked about our bullish patterns. We talked about our bearish patterns. But today, we're going to change up on y'all, man. We ain't just talking candlesticks. Now we talking whole designs and stuff. So y'all make sure y'all keep it locked. We'll be right back.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the
Hey man, it's the winter time, man. It's summertime. I think I'm gonna do a special on the hoodies, man. All right, next week, y'all be here. Come back. I got a special on the hoodies. It's going down. All right, so y'all, I know we loved Jose music with the rock music, but every week, like YouTube kept flagging and saying we was getting trademark copyright infringement. We couldn't monetize the videos if we had enough to do it. So just in case, we gonna cut all that out just so when we do get ready to monetize, we ain't gonna have no problem. So without further David, without further ado, what it is, man. We're going to the new RT segment. Let's go.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I.
Yeah, dude. All right. Look, Jose, we're gonna share your screen this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen, y'all. I'm gonna try to go as slow as I can, but not too slow, because I want to be able to really point at some stuff that is on the screen. So, as you know, we've been talking about uh, candlestick pattern. Can everybody see that? KT, can you see that?
I'm about to push it up. Bam, there we go.
All right. So we got into a whole intro about candlesticks, parts of the different parts of the candle, the body, the wicks and shadows. We talked about just, the parts of what makes it look bullish, what makes it look bearish when you're talking about your open, your close, your highs and your lows. We talked about what they actually meant. The wicks, extends from the top and bottom. We got the lines. We actually got the body of this candlestick patterns. And then we let you know that traders use these to look for confirmation signals such as an increase in volume or a break above a key resistance level. Remember that KT has been talking about resistance, been talking about support. We've been talking about charting. We've been talking about RSI, MACD, VWAP, but now we're going to take a look to see what does all this mean. So our first pattern that we're going to take a look at is the cup and handle pattern. The cup and handle pattern is considered a bullish pattern. As you can see here, it has two parts. We have the cup, and then we have the handle, which is why it's called a cup and handle. In a minute, I'm going to go through what all of this means. But when you see a cup and handle, and as you get familiar with different patterns on the chart, you'll be able to spot them almost immediately. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some practice, but it can be done. So when the cup and handle is formed, we have a U that is characterized by a gradual decline. See this gradual decline in price, and then it rounds out at the bottom. See how we got this rounded out spot, and then it comes back up a little bit right here. So now we got a U. Okay. So our cup and handle starts with a U, and then we have what we call a little bit of a pullback. Usually this pullback happens at a double top. And I say double top because this is a top right here, and we have another top that is pretty much identical to where this previous high was, and now we have a little bit of a downtrend. So we have the cup that formed with a U, and then we have a temporary pullback, after consolidation after this movement forward. So after the cup formation, like I said, here is the smaller consolidation right here. It's going down. It's dipping. As you can see, we got some red candlesticks up in there, and this is known as the handle. So we have our cup, which is a U, and then we have our handle forming a bit of a consolidation time frame and down, not a full downtrend, but down enough to where we're going to see some type of breakout. Remember, we had a double top here, which is why we had the consolidation. What I can also see here is that we had a gap that was filled from here to here, from here to here, and now we will probably see a spike action where this is our support line. Remember what KT was saying about all that support? If I drew a line from here to here, it would be straight across. So all of that, guys, all of that goes into all of these different patterns that we look at. So cup and handle, U, handle. Okay, the breakout is considered complete when the price breaks out above the resistance. Remember, that resistance was where it was at the top. Remember, top, top, double top. If we drew a line, that would be the line of resistance. So see how it broke out above there. So we have the U, we have the handle, and now we got the breakout above this line. I don't know how else to go with that. So we have an uptrending stock that tests previous highs. So this is considered an uptrend. We got buyers near previous highs that are likely to sell because we are in a uptrend, and so now we have selling pressure. So the volume gets bigger because now you have sellers coming in. So we've reached the top. We start to form the U. So we start to consolidate in this area. But what makes this a consolidation and not a V down or a downtrend completely is the sharpness or the way that it is coming down. See, it's staggered, it's still moving, it's consolidating, not shooting straight down because we have a rounded bottom. You can see all the different price actions of these wicks, of these candles. So now we're starting to get bullish as we come out forming this U. So we get to our high point again, double top. Now what? Well, we crept back up because, the buying started to round out the bottom. And so now we get back to that high that we tested over here. So we have a little bit of a pullback because remember, double top usually means a little bit of a pullback. And then we broke up. And once we broke out from this line of resistance, because that's where our double top was, this, my friends, is the breakout. So you catch it. If you caught it right here, you may not catch it right here because this is kind of difficult because you want to see the confirmation. So if you got right here and then you got disappointed, like KT says, that stop loss might hit. And so you may not be able to make it through the full breakout with that stop loss. There's 4 phases that define the cup and handle. Again, 4 phases. So if you review real quick, we had a U, that rounded bottom, then we had a little bit of consolidation that formed the handle, and then we had the breakout. So our first phase is that it trends upward to a significantly high price. So we are in an uptrend, it is going up, or it's just moving in the right direction to the top. We have a pullback, but it's not, if you made money or if you're up, you're going to keep at least half of those gains that you had during that high price and that upward trend. Then we have renewed uptrend falling. to the prior high, and I mean failing to the at the prior high, which now we're off to the consolidation, and then we have our breakout because we have now crossed that double top again, that resistance at the top. So if you look in here, we have our cup. Here's our handle. And this is where we want to get in because we still see profit here based on this height. So you want to look at, see how they threw in the cup height and the cup height here, thinking about how high this was, and now thinking about how high this is from this area right here is almost, it is identical. Therefore, that is where you want to see your profit taking. Soon we'll be talking about what we call descending trend lines and the triangle or the wedge. As you can see, this is a U followed by consolidation. If this were to continue to consolidate down, it will become a descending wedge, which normally, most times, also signals a breakout is imminent. So even though this may continue to go, we may not have a full cup and handle. However, we would be nearing a breakout as well because that downtrend channel, if it doesn't break, it's usually a test of some new highs. So again, we have our U, we had our areas of resistance right here. We have a little bit of a channel here because we have some sell-off, we have some consolidation, and then once we break that high point again, now we're off to the races with a new high. Remember, KT's favorite word, stop loss. See how we have this U, we have this channel, cup, and handle. But if it doesn't break here to go this way, remember, we could always have that stop loss. Because if it continues to break and we have an unconfirmed cup and handle, then again, there's never a true pattern until you have confirmation. So even though it's starting to set up right here as a cup and handle, if this line goes even further south, you're not going to have a confirmation because now it broke the trend, it broke the consolidation, and it's heading toward the gap to fill here at the bottom. You'll hear us talk about gap fills, consolidation, trend lines, resistance, support. We've been talking about that in KT's platform probing. So we have to remember that when we're talking about any type of pattern, there has to be a confirmation. So this is why I was saying earlier that the way that the shape of the cup is important, because if we have a round cup, it usually indicates consolidation. You don't ever want to see a V pattern on any chart because then your consolidation area right in here may not trigger those highs. It may just continue to fall. And if the handle can vary in shape, the downtrend should not retrace more than 1/3 of your gains. Remember what it said earlier. So we have our gains up here. When we have that consolidation period, when we have that descending wedge, we don't want to lose over 1/3 of the gains. That's why you set your stop loss, see what happens before the breakout comes. Shorter and less severe handle day is good, indicator that the breakout will be extremely bullish. See how this channel was less severe of a downtrend, but yet still has the U and it still has the handle. So this breakout here is going to be significant. Why? Because this consolidation was almost a true consolidation and not a downtrend or a descending wedge. So that's why the shape, if you see this on your pattern, you kind of want to stay away from that because that's going to be too big of a sharp increase and decrease together. It's not going to get you a breakout that you want. So on the chart, here we go. Like I was saying, here's your trend line and your support. Resistance, my bad. And so you have your U, you have your cup. Here's our little descending consolidation. and then we get back over this line, and now we have our breakout. So once you get familiar with drawing lines on a chart, which we will start going into that later on as well, you'll be able to see and look at some of your own breakout patterns. So, and then this is what it looks like without anything on it. So as you can see, like I was saying, if you go and look at the chart and you eyeball it, you'll start to notice these patterns. So here's your, coming from the uptrend, we have our U shape, we have our consolidation in this area, and then lo and behold, we got back close enough to the area of resistance, and we ended up with a breakout. Um, so, and the reason why I'm also using this is because I want to show you that the RSI down here was also, when it was in this area, we had an oversold RSI, uh, oversold, and so now we're having a breakout. So this line right here was your RSI. So if you can see that we were selling. We had a little bit of an increase here to match this increase, but look at where we were the most of the chart in this period right here that formed the U. We were in our RSI of oversold, and so then we had a little breakout right here. So if you can remember all that, that's how you can say or see what is starting to happen on the chart itself when you start looking at those different areas. So, KT, that's what I got.
Look, man. Whew. Y'all, I know it may be a little hot in here. Look, I know it might be a little hot and heavy on that, but remember, the money is made in those candlesticks. If you go back each week, take your time, look at those patterns, then go in. And even if you just paper trading, right, you get to look at least for one or two of those patterns that you'll see, whether it's bearish, whether it's bullish, and start being able to recognize those. Because once you're able to see those, if you could recognize that cup and that handle forming, then you automatically know this stock is about head up, right? But if you never see that forming, then you never know. When you see a head and shoulders, you say, okay, it's about to get ready to go. But you never know unless you know what to look for. And so that's where a lot of the times the money is made. So big shouts out to Ortiz, man. Coming through, good information, cup and handle. If you want to know more about that, go back and rewatch the video again. Yeah, just get locked in, man. All right. Good work on that one, brother. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, let's talk about some of these plays before we get out of here. We'll be right back.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Administrators Podcast. So much good stuff just happened tonight. Talked about the cup and handle. We did our heat check. So much going on in the market. If you remember what we said, we're at neutral right now on our fear and greed index, making sure that you know we are in the holding pattern. At this point, we got a lot of data coming out. We got Uncle Jerome talking tomorrow. He'll be across the pond in Amsterdam. But nevertheless, whenever Uncle Jerome talks, we don't care if that boy's in heaven. The market is probably gonna move. So making sure we pay attention to that. Little data coming out tomorrow, but this will be all about companies, industries, information. Thursday will be the inflation rate. So just be prepared. If it's any kind of drop in inflation, then they're gonna be looking because all the sad part is we are in the area of the economy where bad news is good news, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
don't want people to lose their jobs, but in order for people to stop spending money so we can get back to our regular interest rates, something got to happen. Something got to
Mm-hmm.
break. And so then we just don't want it to break too much. So anytime we can see those little drops, that means we are coming closer to rate cuts. Once rate cuts happen, everything starts looking different. So if you're not building up right now some of your plays that you know and love, but when rates get cut, everything's going to the moon. So make sure you get locked in. All right, today, let's get into some platform pro. Okay, y'all. In this week's platform probing, I wanted to talk a little bit about Walgreens.
Mm.
So, what's been going on with Walgreens is they are coming back from the dead. They have, okay, so we know the Walgreens and Boots. Well, what they're trying to do is in Europe, they want to sell all of the Boots, right? And the Boots is what's been bringing this stock down. So if we go back and let's look at, give me my, let's go 1 month chart, right? So let's look at where we've been. At one point, this stock was $96.
Mm.
July 15, let's go over here. January 21, it was $49. October 22, it was $36. And here we go. $18. Now, the thing about that is, what's been going on is big moves that's been coming from this. Not necessarily big moves, but this stock is one of your slow grinder stocks, right? Not too much, not gonna look too fancy. Last night we took a look at the balance sheet. What happened is I think in 21 they took a big debt. And so once they took that big debt, it really counted against their balance sheet. And so then that's when you start seeing like the drops over here, because if you see 21, that's when everything started going on a decline. So that big debt that they took was a part of that, right? But let's go back in under the map now that we see what's going on, right? So earnings 45 days away. The volume 17 million. Average volume is 11.13 million. So that already tells us that something is going on. Look how many more people dug into Walgreens today, right? And so when you get that, that's when you get days like this one, when you get this much more volume. So now let's kind of look at the last earnings. Last one, Q2, March 28th. So the actual was 120, the estimate was 82%. So they surprised everybody by 38%. So earnings was not too bad. Well, earnings was good, rather. Let's see what they're talking about. Dividends. So next payment, 25 cents per share. So just think you had 100 of these. Let's go down and look. Well, the technicals, they are at a buy right now. Another analyst has them at neutral. And for this year, they have a $22 price target. They are at 18 right now. You go in, look at what's going on, get you a leap. Let's zoom back in real quick. All right. So if we look at the chart, boom. Once again, this is our 4 hour. My God. Let me get it. This is our 4-hour chart. If I can get it to oh my God. What happened, man? This is terrible. Okay, here we go. We got the 4-hour chart, people. There we go. So this bar right here took 4 hours to complete. If we can look, this was majority selling. We see a little push down right here. But I mean majority buying. We see a little bit of selling came in toward the end, but then what happened? The sellers popped back up. So that lets you know that it was a good day. Let's go back to our 1-hour chart. Look right here. This was a strong bar, right? And this happened. When is this, man? Hold up, wait a minute. All right. So look, we looking right here. We coming back. Coming up. Shh. Because what did it say? Buyers. We don't know yet, but still buyers. Buyers. All right. So this is why I say this could be a good play this week. Looking for them. Let's go over here. And what we'll do is I think we're gonna chart this thing, y'all. So let's go back and take a look at what happened today. So if I was going in to look at this for the beginning of the day, where would I go? Where would I go? Where my date at, man? Did I miss my date already? What's today? The 13th still? All right, y'all. We got to go way back over here real quick. Because what you do, remember, we already talked about what indicators that I use inside of my situation, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the beginning of the day and look what we already got for today. That thing is just straight on a rocket. So right here, remember what I said. I want to go over to this and I want to anchor my VWAP right there. Now, VWAP, this is my volume weighted average price. This is going to tell me where people are buying and where people are selling for today. So I go back over here now that I got my VWAP and we're going to look. All right. So if you see, it played very close to the VWAP. This is my VWAP line right here. This is where when it hits here, I'm looking for it to bounce back because that's where a lot of people are waiting to buy. And so right here, we had a little bounce, but it came off the VWAP and then it just rode my trend lines pretty much all the rest of the day. And if you can look and see, this blue line was at the top for most of the day. That means this thing was going up. We had a little red over here, but at the end of the day, we looking good. So tomorrow, what I want to see is I want to see this beat the previous high of the day. Once I see that, I know I'm in a good place. Or let's kind of make us a support line. Bam, good support line. And I know it's good because I see so much happening at this line for today. So we got a choice to make, right? When we come in, we're not going to jump into it. What we're going to do is we're going to see where is it going to go. We know that my VWAP is down here. The ideal, and this is so hard for traders, I swear to God it is, the ideal is to be patient and see if it's going to break, even if it's going to come test here, right? We wanted to test here, and then we wanted to take off. If it breaks through here, we might go put down. We may not. But if it breaks here, we definitely going to put down. But right here, we wanted to, if it comes past here, we wanted to come down here, and then we wanted to take off again. So let's see, when did it break VWAP? VWAP. So let's say today, man, it was late. It was like, man, 1 o'clock pretty much, man. Like it was late today when it got over to the other side. Well, I guess that was after it sold off all morning, huh, man? Wow, that thing did a dirty. Wow. Okay, so let's go back out to a 5 minute. That might give us a little bit better. That's a lot going on right there. Okay, y'all. So once again, looking at what was happening here, and that's why I'm telling you this is something that we want to look at for the week. Jose, would you call this a bull flag, or what you thinking about this?
You know, if you look at that down at the bottom there, and we had a little bit of it. Now we're having some consolidation right in that top. You know, right in there. Yeah. If you look to the left, you got a little bit of a. Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Hold up, man.
There. Uh-oh. Look at KT.
All right. Hey, look, man. Look, I'm just trying to do my job, man. So we got a decision to make, people. Will we bounce or will we keep going? But right now, we are inside of this channel. Usually, if we ran up and then we get a little consolidation, it's really just bouncing around here, and it usually will take off. If we looked at the end of the day, how did this candle go? It started green. So that means, wait a minute, we started down here, but we had some people push us up back to support right here. Hit off support right here, hit off support. So I'm thinking that we would have some continuation. But until we break this 1821 where we were here, don't rush into it, right? Just let's see what happens. Let's see if it works its way out this channel. All right, man. Anything you got on that, Walgreen?
Yeah, let me look at that real quick, because when you drew that line at the end on the left hand side, the bottom line, you got what appears to be the flag handle, and then where you got the support, we had a gap filled, and we are actually at a double bottom on those two right there. So I tend to be bullish on that, like you are. I think if we don't break that support, I believe it will, take off.
Hold up, wait a minute, man. Is this almost a cup?
Oh,
damn, look at my cup, man. It's a little leaning over here, man. But y'all can look, this is a prime example. We see it coming down here.
Oh, look at that. We got a little tread. There you go. We got the handle.
Triangle coming. And now, oh my God. So that's just one of the plays, y'all, that we was going to look at this week. I had a few more, but we are at 56 minutes. So if you don't do nothing else, go in and check that Walgreens.
KT, curious, man. What's can you look at the RSI on that?
Man, it'll be too hard to kind of pull the yeah, but it was super oversold. That was another thing. Another one of the confluences why I brought this stock up. It has been super oversold for a long time, right? So when you think about this stock, let's go back and look for the months. All right, here. So when you go back and you look at this stock, super oversold, right? I mean, rough. And so when we look at this, when you think about stocks that's this beaten down, coming from $50, $70 all the way down to 18, any little news will make this pop, because once again, this is a slow mover. So if we got some news today where the company is consolidating, going to be able to work on the balance sheet, that's why we're getting this push out. So just making sure that you're paying attention. I would definitely say look at like a $21 call, maybe a few weeks out, just see what you can pull out that thing tomorrow, man. Because I think if we get a little continuation, especially after that data, this could be the one. And if not, be ready for it to the downside. All right, man. Anything before we shut it down?
Man, that's good, man. I like that. I think you brought it all together full circle, man. I didn't expect that cup and handle to show up like that on that Walgreens.
Hey, man, look, but that's the thing, man. When you know what to look at, now you can say, hey, maybe this stock is headed to the upside. I'm more prepared because of trading with Ortiz. Come on, man. This is what we doing here, man. Golly, man. All right, y'all. Well, I think this is another episode in the books. If you didn't get a chance to check out everything, make sure you go back. We'll make sure we keep these clips running on the YouTube. If you have not, go and subscribe to Administrators. Follow us on the social media. Man, any last words before we get out of here?
Man, just keep up the grind. Keep it up, y'all. Keep learning. Try to do your thing. It's not going to happen overnight. It didn't for us. So,
hey, that's it, man. And for my educators, just hold on.
2 more, not even full 2 weeks.
Yeah, man, not even full 2 weeks. And we got early dismissal. My God. All right, y'all. This is KT with KTTV signing out. 100.
This is Darnell with Broadcast Houston.
This is Dr. Tamara Beckford.
Hey, this is Candace.
This is London Underwood.
This is Kirsten Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
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 KTTV. Is that right?